those will die if she rats.
Did you ever hear the, I forget who said this, they said, you can cut down the possibility of you being murdered by 50%, just right out of the gate by doing the following things or not doing the following things.
Okay.
Do not do drugs.
Okay.
Don't associate with people that do drugs.
Well, that's not fun.
And don't deal in drugs. It turns
that's
out
not fun.
You increase your chances of being murdered by 50% by engaging in that type of activity.
Well, again, I'd say that you're a bit of a fucking loser. And to quote Anthony Bourdain, life is like an amusement park. Have fun, or something like that.
Yeah, the guy
he hanged himself, so maybe he's not the greatest person to quote on that. You know, you increase your chance of not dying 100% if you don't hang yourself. Maybe we'll cut it.
There's a lot of stuff on TV, but not all of it's good. In fact, a lot of it's bad TV.
Yo, it's Bad TV in your ears. I'm Dylan. Saddled up next to one, Pat Hickey.
Great to be here.
Kaylin, producer of the show.
Hi.
Is over there behind my glasses.
Say hi, Kaylin.
I did.
Oh,
Hi.
okay. Sorry.
Oh no. Dude, this whole setup to this, I don't know why I'm so out of sorts right now. Has anyone seen my mango aloe melon ice?
That right there behind your water bottle?
It's that right there behind my water bottle. Oh my God. I gotta fight this off because honestly, what we saw tonight was obviously a lot of addiction, right? Because it's life after lockup, but hearing Chance recounting his addiction to zins, dips, vapes, and cigs, I mean, it rung too true to me. It spooked me out. I was like, I can see myself in Chance.
You're just like him.
Yeah.
Dude, a power washer is in your future.
I'm a mirror image of Chance. So I'm getting ahead of myself. We have public service announcements to get to first. Pat, take it away.
All right, everybody. First, we have a real, it's not a surprise. I'm going to tell you what we're doing next week. If you're a fan of Love is Blind, look out next week, early next week. They're dropping 5 episodes of Love is Blind. Dylan and I, to thank you for all the downloads and success we've had in recent months, are going to drop all 5 episodes next week for you guys in your listening pleasure. But what you need to do for us to thank us for that is the back end of that season, which is the other 5 to drop the following week, are going to be behind the paywall, and we need you to help us out back there.
Have you noticed that I'm chewing gum right now?
I have not.
Okay, good.
Okay. By the way, and we're doing Vanderpump Rules. Some of our best work. I never thought I could make hay out of that show because it's been on so long. But we're doing it with Ruby Wren, who's Dylan's sister, who's very talented and funny and clever. And the audience is loving it. So if you want an APS, a PMZ from me, wrapping up a Bachelor season, Vanderpump Rules, and Love is Blind, the last 5 episodes of the season, pay us $5. By the way, let me go on a little rant here. I was looking at, I subscribe to about 7 Patreons. Like I follow other artists, you know.
Yeah.
And you know what they do that they want for their $5? They'll drop like a 15-minute episode once a week. Dylan and I drop 5 full episodes in a week. That's like 20 full shows. How dare you not subscribe right now? Go over to patreon.com/anotherpodcast.
Yeah, and so also cool thing is I think we'll really hit this on the Below Deck show. I mean, we might as well just hit it here. The live watch with us will probably be next Tuesday in place of the reunion list Below Deck.
Right, but they are doing a kind of a tribute to old Captain Lee.
Oh, okay. So we'll not be covering that.
No, we won't.
We will be on Discord with our $12 tier mates. So look out for that. I'll post stuff in the Patreon and we'll get Discord figured out. I know it's a convoluted computer program, but them's the breaks. So, last PSA, YouTube, at Bad TV. We've got stuff in the works where we may be sending you all over the place with YouTubes. But for right now, just go to Bad TV. It is at Bad TV. Put the dots in the middle. Join us there. We have to get those subscribers numbers up, okay? We could fill Azteca. You've heard the whole thing. Go over there, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment. Fight against the algorithm. Help us grow. Let's get into what is probably the most entertaining show out of the 50,000 that we do. That is Women's Entertainment's Life After Lockup. Pat?
I agree wholeheartedly.
How
with you,
many
Dylan.
handcuffs do you give this episode?
Well, Dylan, as I pointed out, this show should not be called Life After Lockup, but it could be called How Not to Do Life or Cigs and Sadness.
Yeah, Cigs and Sadness is okay, but the first title that you said was a really, really bad title.
It's all just so sad when you're down in the dumps and feeling so low. Just remember your life's not as bad as Mo. Neek. Just it's a working intro. Cigs and Sadness.
What was the... Did you say...
Cigs and Sadness.
Did you hear what he...
It's the song if we ever change the podcast name to Cigs and Sadness.
Did you say like neek?
Well, the rhyme was with Mo. It had to rhyme with an M and an O.
Sure.
And I was referring to Monique.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, got it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you said Monique. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Because it's sad.
Okay.
Okay, so here's a couple issues I have.
God, that really threw me.
All right, there's
There's
some.
a pregnant pause between Mo and then you just said Neek. And I was like, what? The fuck?
All right, this
Go ahead.
was a very interesting episode. Of course, we have the stories and cast member stories that I just want to jump into the TV and choke the people. Chance is one of them, and also, of course, my arch nemesis, Justine and Michael.
Yeah, I think if we had like a power ranking of pieces of shit, we're starting to see some people rise to the top. I would say the Chance is probably firmly rooted at number one.
Right now he is. Yeah.
It's coming in at silver, I would say it's quite a battle, much like that parking lot that we saw last week between Justine and Michael and the manslaughter, the hotshot administrator herself, Sarah, who is asking her child to hide her infidelities for her. Really disgusting shit. And then, you've always got Cam in the background, who is...
oh, yeah, he's up there.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
I'm going to break... All right, first, here's my first critique of the show.
Cam thinks that everybody who inquires about his financial situation is a CEO.
Yeah.
It's like... It's quite a piece of shit thing to do. Anyways, go ahead.
Okay, storytelling is not this show. It needs a little help with that. They got to hire better producers that create these storylines.
Yeah.
All right. Case in point, Blaine and Lindsay. Okay, their main storyline is she's concerned about a 19-year sentence stint that he might get.
Yeah.
And Blaine is gonna get parole.
Right.
But he doesn't want to tell her. He wants to hide it from her.
Well, he's not going to get parole. He's going to get 3 years house arrest. And why is he going to get 3 years house arrest? Because he's got the best legal team in
Tyler Ross,
the
attorney at law.
southwest of the Midwestern East, Tyler Ross.
Well, okay, so here's the issue. You're delivering good news to her, not bad news. Why keep it from her? That is a dumb storyline, and it makes no sense.
It did make sense at the end when he was sitting with Pops, and he said, I'm going to show her I can take care of my own stuff. When I tell her that I'm just going to get 3 years house arrest, she's going to know I can take care of things without her help. So I understood where he was coming from, but...
The motives make no sense.
The motives make no sense. A marriage is supposed to be building a nest together. You need not fear help from your partner.
Yes. Okay. Now, the second piece of business, and forgive me if this is a little too real and a little too dark
Yikes.
for the podcast. Okay. There are multiple male participants as cast members in this show that are living now in houses and homes with teenage daughters. In my past, whenever I'd hear a girlfriend or a friend or someone and something bad happened to them when they were a kid, it was always because someone was allowed to be in the house and trusted.
Lloyd.
Who should not have been trusted and left unsupervised. So grown men with some criminality in their past with teenage girls.
Yeah.
It is so bad, and it is fully on display in the show with Chance, who's a scumbag. Taylor has 3 little girls. With Cam I'm not accusing any of these guys of any of this. I'm just saying when you wondered like, oh, how's that happen? You're watching it. This is how.
So
it's stupid.
I kind of feel like I'm Mac talking to Dennis right now, and you're telling me about the implication. So are you saying that they're going to sexually abuse in a pedophilic way, or are you just saying they're not a good influence?
I am saying this is how it happens when you allow scumbags into your home.
Again,
with
I feel
teenage
like
girls.
you're just saying the implication. What are you talking about? What's this?
Well, I'm just saying we're watching people making very, very poor decisions.
Of course.
Is
Yeah,
my point.
we've said it a time after time. It is a very tough show to watch, but that's why you have me and Pat.
So we can make you laugh.
Exactly.
Right.
How many fucking handcuffs do you give it?
14.
You have to break from that number.
Why?
I'm getting sick of it. You say it every episode, and you spit on the scale when you do that, okay? I loved this episode. We have more fallout from the Battle of Helm's Deep. We have a just chef's kiss moment between a financial advisor and Taylor and Chance. We have Taylor lighting his clothes and his creatine on fire at the end of the episode. I mean, what more can you ask for? We have Blaine's father licking his lips at his new girl. I mean, there's so much gross stuff going on. You learn so much about America when you watch this show. 92 handcuffs. So, last we left off, the great Tyler Ross had gotten Blaine off the almost 2-decade stint. But we pick up with one of the more uplifting tales, that of a winery-themed, towel-owning murderer named Sarah and her drug addict ex-lover, who is going to be meeting his 8-year-old daughter for the first time. She tells her daughter that mommy's quote-unquote friend is coming, and we also find out that, and I'm very confused about this, has he met this child or not? Because she says, like, when she was in prison, he might have met her.
I think very, very young.
Okay.
But it's been a number of years since they've had a face-to-face.
Got it. Okay. So add to this that she's married and is going about this with fumes of infidelity. She's putting the onus of keeping the secret on her kid.
Don't drop a dime, Mommy Abby.
Which is, I mean, that it's almost as bad as putting a hot shot of heroin in somebody to send them into the next realm.
Yeah.
It's really gross stuff.
And he's kind of putting the pressure on old Mommy there, like, hey, come on, tell her I'm her dad. Tell her I'm her dad.
Well,
now, I want to say something about this character.
Yeah.
All right. At the tail end of this, because I think this is the last we see of him, he's gained a lot of weight, which I've watched, what's that show, Intervention Enough?
That's good, though, right?
It's good. It means you're not on drugs. You've chosen another addiction.
Yeah.
Very few people can sustain a weight with blow. Chris Farley being one of them, which I lost. I have no respect for someone who's a cokehead who's also fat.
Yeah.
Pick your poison, pancakes or Coke.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying that because Chris Farley still ate while he was addicted to cocaine, you've lost all respect for him.
All respect. Pick one.
Yeah. Forget his luminary genius comedic talents, but you can't eat when you're on coke.
I'll tell you, the visual of a chubby coke user is off-putting.
Belushi out. Wow.
One poison.
Okay. So I thought this was actually quite a sweet moment, with this recovering drug addict meeting his daughter for the first time. He's playing in the jungle gym because he's an adult, but also a big kid. And, drug addicts are usually stuck in the child complex. They're quite useless. They're like 4-year-olds, but they do heroin.
Yeah, instead of candy, they want crack.
Right. So it would seem as though this is a scumbag thing of Sarah to do, but with Sean being a slack-jawed video game addict, I see the beauty of this familial unit, and I just root for them. I think that Anthony may be in certain peril if he gets back with Sarah, just because of the hot shot and whatnot. But I don't know. I almost don't blame her for romantically cheating on Sean.
Yeah.
Because he's a slack-jawed video game addict.
Yeah, he's also a no-nutted turd. This is another problem with the storyline.
Right.
She's very concerned Sean will find out. Excuse me, Sarah, last episode, the guy had his back turned to you, and you full-on ripped his fucking gaming headset goggles off his fucking head.
Right.
You are not afraid of this man.
No,
he is, in fact, scared of you.
Oh, yeah, no, he's Sling Blade. So we get a very cooked over-the-shoulder shot of 15 missed calls from Sean. Miss me with the bullshit women's entertainment, okay? It's getting too cooked. Take several seats. I just learned that. It's a Gen Z term. It means settle down. Take several seats. I'm going to start using it.
Okay.
So let's move on to our favorite couple, Taylor and Chance, who is pissed that they are even making this drive to a financial advisor when he could be power washing.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought they were going to the financial advisor to find out where they could invest all that money from the power washing business.
Yeah.
Where should we put our money? Crypto?
Right.
You know?
It's like that guy from last season who strikes up a conversation with Derek about crypto.
Right.
And what with government bonds showing their fragility, I wouldn't fault anybody for putting their money into Shiba Inu coin or whatever, because, you know, when you see the powers that be playing with the consolidation of banking like it's a ukulele, it does make you rather sad and helpless. You know,
buy property, man.
What happens if the FDIC has to bail things out and all they have are decaying government bonds? You know, what's going to happen to us with Xi Jinping meeting with Vladimir Putin? I mean, the whole thing is really stressful, but I'm glad I'm just not addicted to crack and addicted to gambling. So let's get back to the show.
Hey, I want to give a rundown when they meet with that financial advisor of some of Chance's more savvier expenditures.
Yeah. So do you want to paint a picture of this layer cake of financial misery?
I'll name off a couple.
Yeah.
Power washer, rims,
Right.
truck,
Right.
a gender reveal stunt that involved renting a plane.
Sure.
Those are at the top of the list, but I think he listed a couple of them.
Yeah, so when the financial advisor asks him to kind of lay out his debt, it doesn't seem unreasonable, despite every syllable being what you would call a fabrication or an outright lie.
Right.
Now, he's getting tired of these bitches trying to shade him and trying to uncover the lies that he's telling himself and the mother of his soon-to-be child, but he eventually breaks. He says, I have a bad Dr. Pepper addiction. I got a nasty breakfast sandwich addiction. I got a nicotine issue that I know all too well, but in Chance's case, it has led to trysts with various different nicotine products. As I said, dip, zins, cigs, and vapes, which is a big money suck, but it's nothing compared to getting off work 3 hours early before he says he gets off so that he can, quote unquote, decompress at the casino. And we're in, I think it's like Every, Missouri. So God help you if you ever walk into that casino that he goes to. You know the yellow cuticles of Bunny and or Puppy and Amber, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of the ethos of that entire floor, I feel like. It kind of it's just one giant nicotine-stained cuticle, that casino. It makes me very sad that he's in there all the time.
The walls are yellow in that casino, but they're supposed to be white.
Right. It's like The Shining, but it's not as, like, pretty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyways, he's walking in there and just blowing $700. And the funny thing is he only has $700. So it's quite a toxic relationship.
Well, a couple things here. I like how he explains his gambling process. You know, he goes there with $200, right? But then he loses that. So
yeah,
it's like, well, I'm feeling lucky.
Right.
Based on what? I don't know.
Yeah.
So then he hits the ATM and withdraws overdraws like 700. He loses that. That's his process. That's the story of every degenerate gambling loser that ends up in a 1-bedroom apartment in Van Nuys on government assistance.
Yeah.
And then his only outing is at the racetrack on Sundays with the other deadbeat losers. That's your future, Chance.
But I loved that he was like, he did mount a bit of a defense. He was like, no, you don't understand. I got 700, right? I walk in there with 2. I lose that, right? I go to the ATM. I pull out another 2. I lose that, right? And the financial advisor's like, yeah, no, this is what this is called gambling addiction. And every man who's ever gone to Las Vegas has, unless you're a boor, you've gone through this exact scenario. It's how Vegas is Vegas. It's how any casino is a casino because of losers like Chance and myself.
Well, I was going to say, though, I like this financial advisor for her to be able to get down to the nitty gritty of what was happening here, because when she basically made the case like, hey, look, this doesn't make sense. You're making $35 an hour. The credit card ain't bad. So what's up?
Right.
She wasn't buying, as you pointed out, soda.
Right. I got a wicked Dr. Pepper addiction. That's like $12 a day.
I do want to say this a little, not that I need to be pat on the back for being right. First episode, I said he's a gambling addict.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was looking at all his finances. I said, yeah, he's a gambler.
Call me Mr. Cleo.
Yeah, there's several of them in my family. My father being one of them, my stepfather being the other.
Yep.
One of them sold my baseball collection to pay off a gambling debt.
Yep. To quote some
really sad.
To quote some Trump post on Truth Social right now. Sad. Yeah. No, but you're right. This financial advisor does turn into a couples counselor on a dime. Yes. And Taylor asks, why the fuck does this happen to me? You know, why do I pick men like this?
Because your self-esteem's in the fucking garbage.
Well, I was going to say
like
it's because of painfully oppressive socioeconomic cycles that you do not have the drive to break. You just cannot break that. And that is hilarious. Just hilarious. So let's get to our faves, Lindsay and Blaine, who has a really bad shiner on his mugshot. I didn't see that, but it's like he almost lost an eye that night. Now, Blaine has taken the house arrest deal, but Blaine doesn't want to tell Lindsay because he's a romantic. He wants to surprise her. We've covered this. He wants to her to have a joyous experience over the next couple of days wherein she thinks that she is going to need to walk around whatever fucking shit kicker town they're in with a baseball bat and or a 2x4 with nails sticking out of it to collect $3,200 to chip away at this rate that Tyler Ross Associates is charging.
Hold on.
I mean, tell her, man. She's going to go fucking get in jail again.
I don't want to correct you, but it's not Lindsay that's going to be walking around town with a baseball bat with nails in it.
You're right.
She has called upon a dear friend, former assistant, Sticks, to collect on those debts. Apparently, a drug addict named BB owes her $1,800.
Yeah.
A drug addict named Stanley owes her $14.
Yeah.
And a drug addict named Chris owes her $1,000.
Yeah, and it's shocking to think about how much Tyler Ross and Associates charges, because even if she has gone through the what's that guy in Walking Dead when the show was bad and he smashed Glenn in the face with that bat?
Negan.
What? Negan. So she's walking around town fucking busting skulls and stuff, right? And she's still $11,500 short. I mean, the guy's got to tell her she's going to commit atrocities. But yes, she has an assistant named Six.
Oh, I thought it was Sticks.
Now, you got confused because of that great band.
Oh, right. Yeah.
How many songs do they have?
I don't know. That's not my genre of rock that I like.
What genre of rock is it?
I'd say it's late 70s rock. Yeah. Anthem rock.
Okay.
Arena rock. Yeah, that's the word.
I feel like Styx is kind of like Tool mixed with Christopher Cross.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, a little bit. A little soft rock there with progressive rock tones.
Okay.
Hey, I was going to say one thing here. Styx, this is another storytelling issue. Six, I mean. Six, she takes the job, right? But nowhere in that conversation does Lindsay indicate what's in it for Six.
Well, Six knows what's in it for Six.
Well,
Six knows that she's got debts to pay off too. And Six knows that if she does not do this for Lindsay, the wrath of that most fearsome boss will come down on her. Six knows that she's being paid $800 to do this because, in her own words, her financial situation is cigarette drag shit, right? But Lindsay is very, very much a Don Corleone kind of figure. What she does is she insulates herself from the
fray.
From the fray, yes, exactly. She's many steps removed from the actual crime. The cuffs do not get put on the boss.
Can't be tied back to her.
Yeah.
And she's very proud of herself for this.
Yeah.
She's proud she was able to get the ball rolling on potentially getting her friend Six killed in a gunfight.
Right. Well, Six knows what's going to happen to Six if she rats. She doesn't have a lot, but she has goldfish and she has a bunny rabbit. those will die if she rats.
Did you ever hear the, I forget who said this, they said, you can cut down the possibility of you being murdered by 50%, just right out of the gate by doing the following things or not doing the following things.
Okay.
Do not do drugs.
Okay.
Don't associate with people that do drugs.
Well, that's not fun.
And don't deal in drugs. It turns
that's
out
not fun.
You increase your chances of being murdered by 50% by engaging in that type of activity.
Well, again, I'd say that you're a bit of a fucking loser. And to quote Anthony Bourdain, life is like an amusement park. Have fun, or something like that.
The guy
he hanged himself, so maybe he's not the greatest person to quote on that. You know, you increase your chance of not dying 100% if you don't hang yourself. Maybe we'll cut it. So let's get to Cameron and Susie, a.k.a. Eris. Her wig is on, and it's making him want to pop. Now,
turn up this house.
Cam is a real coy kind of cute. He's wanting to bust up the apartment, which means getting furniture. Mm-hmm. He also wants Eris to stay the fuck out of his business. He asks her if she's his CEO. And if you want to go ahead and look at your life partner that way, go for it. But I don't think it means or spells success. You know?
Yeah.
It's just it's a bad lens. So they head to the furniture store, and that is when Priscilla calls. She picks up Eris's daughter. Eris, in a tide pool of horse shit human beings, Eris probably stands out among them as the best person on this show.
Right. Which is shocking because her father seems so engaged in her life. And so how did she find Cam?
Oh, that was sarcastic.
No, her dad called her. He told her he was pissed. Who is this guy? He's like, what do you mean you're getting married?
What do you mean her dad's involved? He wasn't at the wedding, and he said, hey, I heard you got married on social media.
She didn't tell him, and that's why he was mad.
Well, I don't think that means that her father is in her life. But it kind of irked me that the daughter seems to get passed around quite a bit for the sake of being on the show, and even worse, for the sake of Cam. Like, somebody else took her home when she was in Florida, I think.
Went back to Florida.
Yeah, and now she's got Priscilla picking her up from... I don't know. You need... It takes a village, but... You know, just starting
not a village of idiots like Cam. Did you know when she was having this call with Priscilla that at that point they cut to Cam? He was looking in a mirror in the store and he said,
"Oh yeah,
I could make some good pornos in this mirror." You make pornos with a camera. Having sex in front of a mirror is having sex with your reflection of yourself. You dumb fuck.
And also, like, when you're watching porn, like, you can't just... There can't be like a mirror theme to the entire porn. That'll be a really weird narrative choice. It'll completely throw you out. Like, the whole thing's done in front of a mirror. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to watch that. They want to watch the plumber come over, and the plumber has a huge cock, right? And I don't know. He's like having sex with the person that asked him to come fix the pipes. Anyways, Priscilla wants to pick Cam's ears, and I, for one, cannot wait for this. Someone needs to call this gaslighting little evil man on his shit. Now, they really do end up busting the place up. They buy a stool. That's it.
Well, they're turning up the house.
So, back to the fallout of Helm's Deep. Aubriana and Elizabeth are pretty fucked up.
They are fucked up.
Monique and Co. administered some crushing blows.
Dylan, you set this up, man. This is the scene of the battle where a war was raged. But it was not muskets or young men's blood on the ground. It was cheap weaves and $100 acrylic nails.
Well, you don't know that they're cheap.
The ugliness of war.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is, speaking of wigs, this must have been what the Revolutionary War looked like. What with bourgeois acrylics and wigs all over the place.
Yeah, that's true.
And tons of blood. Yeah. My God. So I admire the fight in the sisters. They were outnumbered. They were outgunned. They cared not for the quality of their foot-long cuticles in that moment, though. The fate of Middle Earth hung in the balance, and they had to fight for Derek. So I don't know who Derek is putting the blame on here. He's speaking very vaguely about...
It would appear to me, despite his sisters being very upset with him, that he is, in fact, taking their side.
Yeah, because Monique goes back to the hotel, and Derek is left in the parking lot, quite literally left. He's just standing there all little with no car, and he is wondering on the absence of Monique's elegance.
Yes. Elizabeth does something quite insane here. She states that they were being quote unquote cool until Mo and her sisters amped up the situation.
Yeah.
And that was the cause of all this.
Right.
And not the part where Elizabeth ran out of the car with her arms flapping like a penguin, launching her body into Mo's sisters like bowling pins.
Well, Cassandra said swing then.
Yeah, I know, but that's when you turn the other cheek and you drive off.
Well, Pat, we can't all walk through life like Jesus, okay? Everybody would be messiahs then, okay? I think they were very cool. I think you're being a big fucking dork.
You think so?
Don't do drugs. Don't associate with drugs.
Don't sell drugs.
Don't sell drugs. Lighten up, old man.
Oh, fair enough.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, I want to remind the audience, the reason these ladies were meeting with each other is to celebrate Derek's birthday.
All right, so we got to move on. Good news, though. We're back with Justine and Michael, and we've got a new addition to the show. Michael is tempering the children he can and cannot accommodate into his life, and it looks like he can now accommodate his son. But that was just an interstitial, so I'm sure he'll be back in another state shortly.
Of course. All right, so I want to talk about bad parenting right here. So this is a real quick cut where we meet Junior, Michael Jr., a kid who he hasn't seen in 8 years, but now he's moved.
And don't comment on the child's weight because that's ridiculous to do.
I would never. Okay, I was going to comment
God.
on the purity of children and the hopes that, as you often talk about, this cycle in which.
Thank God, because I thought you were going to call him a fat ass.
No, he's a cute little kid. He's a pumpkin.
All right, cool.
I just hope he doesn't turn into a shitbag fentanyl dealer like his old man.
Yeah.
But we learn. He will be moving in with Michael, and then Michael, I think it's in the next, when we see them next, he announces to the family they're going to be moving again right after 30 seconds earlier explaining how was Junior fitting into his new school situation.
Yeah.
What a great life decision, bouncing this kid around all over the fucking place.
Hey, Junior, pop on over here. We're in Pennsylvania or Ohio or whatever. How's school? We're moving to Las Vegas.
And by the way, that's even further from your actual family that raised you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to get into him. He says one of the most narcissistic things at the end of this episode when his sister Anna calls him out on his bullshit.
Yeah.
I do want to reach through. Michael, you and I will have a fight. We will square off. $10,000 up for grabs. I just want to get in a ring with you. And I don't even care if I lose. I just want to punch you in the face.
Okay. My God, Patrick, the man has been to jail. He's a better fighter than you.
We'll see.
Pat, has anyone ever tried to come for the life of your O-ring?
My throat?
No.
Oh, my asshole.
Your butthole.
No.
Yeah. You have not learned how to fight.
Well, what I'll do is I'll distract him, make him think I'm going for his O-ring.
Oh, like be into it?
And when he puts both his hands back there to protect it, that's when I'll kick him in the balls.
Okay.
I don't want to give away my game plan of fighting Michael, okay?
Wait. How would that work?
I don't know.
Okay, so you're in a fight, right? And then he thinks you're going to go for his ass.
Well, I'm saying I'm going for it.
Right. So and go to the YouTube, but he does a kind of manta ray kind of thing with his hands.
He tries to protect his asshole.
Okay, and that's when you kick him in the balls.
him in the ding-ding.
Okay. Right, all right. Well, we got to move on, but before we do, let's take a quick break to talk about this sponsor. My dad's pretty old school.
Oh, yeah? How so?
Well, he's a bit of a curmudgeon. And he said he's been having trouble sleeping lately, what with the night horrors of Vietnam and whatnot.
Yeah. They mowed that country down, You'd want to forget that,
So I'm like, dude, we just got this incredible sponsor. Let me send you some stuff. And he said, well, you can't send that stuff in the mail. And I said, okay, better idea. Go to their website. We'll tell you about the website in a second. He went there, ordered these things. He's been sleeping like a lamb.
Really?
His life has really turned around. No longer is he dreaming of the horrors of the canopy. He is dreaming of like lambs and stuff like that.
And unicorns.
Yep. Our show today is sponsored by Microdose Gummies. Microdose Gummies deliver perfect entry-level doses of THC that help you feel just the right amount of good. They help with creativity, enjoying the moment. You're going to a party, going to a dinner party, you don't want to feel locked into a chair? Well, then don't. Just take a little microdose. It'll alleviate everything. Workout, recovery. It makes sex better.
Also,
It makes sex better. Oh my gosh.
With me, I like to turn my brain off and enjoy music and television shows more. And so I just take a little gummy, and suddenly everything seems more interesting to me.
The world is in Technicolor, and you can do that too by going to microdose.com and use promo code BADTV. Now, Microdose is available nationwide. To learn more about microdosing THC, go to microdose.com and use code BADTV to get free shipping and 30% off your order. Links can be found in the show description, but again, that's microdose.com/BADTV. All right, so we'll get to them in a second, but first, we have to talk about Blaine, Lindsay, and creepy Pops. Blaine's father, who I think wants to fuck his son's girlfriend, and I think, given this man's checkered past, would in a heartbeat. Quick guy.
He
would just pat his son on the back and go, "I had to do it," you know.
All right, this guy is.
She would refuse him, but
maybe.
Yeah.
Get her in the right moment of emotion. This guy is go to a sad racetrack.
Yeah.
On a Sunday or during the day on a weekday, this guy's there.
Yeah.
With my wife and I, just because we like, it's something to do.
Watching horses die?
No, we don't like watching that.
Oh, sorry.
So we go to Santa Anita Racetrack, and it is filled with a bunch of loser, degenerate men, and their head are on a swivel because my wife's hot. They have no shame in their heads turning with a girl who's holding hands with her husband wearing a wedding ring and looking at her in the hopes that they will get a chance to fuck her.
And you have to just tell everyone you're coming for their ass.
Well, I just want to say, look, this is why you're here.
Right.
This is why your life is this.
Hey, have another screwdriver, fat ass.
This is why you're dodging child payments.
Okay, so we get back to Monique and Michael. Michael Jr., a.k.a. Little Michael, is actually back in the picture. The good news continues. They are moving the children to Las Vegas. Now, we give Michael's sister a ring, who didn't have a good run-in with Justine last time. But they need to mend things because right now, they need Anne. They need Anne to take care of their children for 7 days.
Yeah. One of those children doesn't really know her at all. Actually, probably has never met her.
Yeah. Oh, 3 of the children have really never met her.
Yeah, so great. This is what I was kind of talking about.
Oh, no. The oldest daughter has met her, and that she met her when her mother and her got into that fight in the park.
That's right.
The other 2 have not. I have no idea who this person is. Yeah.
Yeah. So once again, amazing decision making.
Yeah.
And by the way, I know that there are 2 women it's Anne and her lovely wife that will be supervising the children. But once again, unsupervised strangers looking after your kids.
Yeah, well, not quite strangers. I mean, Michael knows that Anne is a better person than him. I think I'd much rather have Anne rear these children than Michael. But, I was torn because, sometimes you got to go on a trip. Sometimes you got to take care of yourself. Now, if your entire life had not been dedicated to taking care of yourself and only yourself and doing what you want in any impulsive decision that comes into your head, it would be okay. But it's not okay with Justine and Michael. So Michael goes outside and he's got to call our favorite music producer, the guy who is chopping the tart, Mocha himself. Pat, how does this phone call go?
He's like, hey, I can't wait till you come out to Vegas. By the way, don't bring those wedding rings, because you're in a boy band and we got to sell more tickets for that SoFi Stadium gig.
Yeah.
Not. You're 38, you're a loser, and no one cares that you're married to Justine. But for some reason, Mocha's obsessed with, he's his PR wing also, as well as being a manager of his career.
Mocha's like, Mike. Oh, no. He calls him Mills.
Hey,
he's like, Mills, listen. Are you aware that in 2026, the Trade Federation of Canada, the United States, and Mexico is going to be hosting the World Cup? And he says, no. And he goes, well, SoFi, they're going to be playing the World Cup final there. It seats 78,000 people. Okay. If you take those rings off, you're there.
Parking cars for others as a valet.
Okay, so Michael goes inside to tell Justine of the tales of Mocha to make himself look better.
100%.
And what happens is this is a big mistake because he needs this business relationship to be copacetic. Yeah. He needs to compartmentalize the hatred that Mocha has for her and the hatred that she has for Mocha. This is a very, very sticky business relationship.
Partnerships need to do that. Compartmentalize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Sean and Sarah, who is a fucking piece of shit. Sarah turns to her daughter and says, do not mention Anthony. She says, okay, mother, the person who has guided me through my entire life, I will lie for you at the ripe age of 8 years old. Are you as grossed out by this as I am? I think it's so disgusting.
You never put a child in positions like this.
Oh, my God. What's even grosser is an inflatable indoor jacuzzi. You want to take this?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. So he's, I guess, done
How are people not watching this
I guess he hit Costco earlier that day.
Yeah.
So he's got an inflatable indoor jacuzzi.
Yeah.
And he's bought some cheap champagne. He wants to get romantic. You know, he wants to launch some of that extremely ambitious sperm of his. Right. Ladies, word to the wise. Michaels are all around us.
Yeah.
Clean that public toilet seat in the restroom.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Be careful, Michael could impregnate you.
Well, you have to sit down on those things that are like the wax paper on the toilet seat because Michael's semen is a contagion of sorts. It is a lot like that fungi that is ravaging people in Canada right now. There are no cures for it. No. It just does what it wants to do. It's almost omniscient on its micro level.
It's like The Last of Us. It's that root system, except it's loose sperm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't kill you or take over your brain. It sires a child and makes your life miserable.
Yeah. It's this fascinating thing where it's almost like it can freeze itself to survive until it, with its crude little antennae, like plankton, sense that there's some kind of a uterine wall that it needs to climb into. I mean, it's real. Scientists need to lock this guy down. But anyways, he's sad. Gaslighting flows between the two. Sean says, I can't believe you do this to me. You just shut me down like this. He did the same thing to her 2 episodes ago because he was playing COD. But when he says something is going on, she says, you are so up in your head right now. I did not go to the park to meet up with my ex-baby daddy who is been eating a lot and is no longer on drugs.
And who's still into me and wants to see if they can mend the relationship.
Right. You're in your head. That's gaslighting, Mama.
That's gaslighting.
So more onus of keeping lies placed on the children here. Monique tells her daughter to essentially keep her mouth shut about the 8th member of the family that is due when Anne shows up. She and Monique hug it out, and then we head out for a little private brother and sister time outside of this. It's private brother and sister time, but there is this strange little woman who was revealed later to be Anne's wife. But when she's first there, she struck me as having a Bruce Willis kind of ghostly like property where she was just in the back seat and was laughing at things, but they did not acknowledge her.
Throw a Chiron up there. Let's do some producing Life After Lockup. You guys are making money now.
I mean, Life After Lockup, I thought this woman was a ghost that we could see, but they couldn't. I mean, you have to throw up Chirons. The fuck?
Well, Michael says he's got something up his sleeve, and it's a surprise. And then they go shopping.
All right, but first, let's get to the beach and Priscilla. Cam meets his worst enemy outside of those federales that tased him. A wise, older black woman. Cam, you are no match. This is the hero we need to penetrate the horse shit that drunk Cam is peddling. Now, she has one conversation with, Eris has one conversation with Priscilla, and Priscilla can see immediately that Cam is full of shit and stacking shit.
He's stacking papers.
Yeah, he's stacking shit. He and Priscilla have a lovely little chat on the beach. It goes pretty well. She says that I'll beat the fuck out of you with Eris. And yeah, I would say it was a success.
He doesn't give a fuck what that CEO has to say.
All right, so let's get to Miley Gracie and her beautiful story of conception. Miley Grace is Lindsay's daughter. And Lindsay is taking Lindsay. Well, I'm going to throw to you because you don't want me to be sad. So when I get too sad, I got to throw to you. Okay. So we're shopping for purity rings, right?
Yeah.
Because
it's not a thing.
We're trying to preach abstinence here a little bit because Lindsay got pregnant with Miley Grace at the age of 14. Candle was lit, and then the guy went deer hunting after. Now, she found out that she was pregnant before a JV basketball game because she was playing in it. She had her uniform on. Pat, make it funny.
Oh, sure. Way to go, production.
Yeah.
New lows all the time with you guys.
Yeah.
Well, she asked, I don't know, she asked Miley if she has any boyfriends. That's what kind of prompted this.
Right.
Little, I guess parenting there. She's a little concerned.
Yeah.
And after hearing her response, she has the retelling as you've just recapped. She found out she was pregnant. Lindsay says she doesn't want Miley to lose her childhood.
Right.
Miley responds, "Don't worry, Mom, I won't because I don't like crack."
Yeah. Well, and who's to say that Lindsay was smoking crack at the age of 14? I think not, but I think that she just got wrapped up in a little kind of Zanesville-like toxicity in her environment. And she had sex with a man who at least lit a candle and then went to go get some venison after. You know what I mean? He was providing for her. Uplifting story, not sad at all. So we find out that the ghost is actually Ann's wife. What the fuck is that relationship, huh? Now that is an odd couple. She's like an older woman.
Yeah, well,
you know?
However
odd they are, I guarantee you they're better parents than Justine and Michael.
100%.
Guaranteed.
I love that there's a particular moment Michael asked his sister, she goes, Justine's pregnant. He goes, "How'd you know?" She looks pregnant.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. Well, we shop for rings, and he picks the expensive one and asks the question, what is money? I would say that money is your greatest tool and perhaps your greatest weakness. It's something that can give you stability and happiness in life. It is also something that can ruin your life. And if you spend money like Michael and Chance on Dr. Pepper and breakfast sandwiches and rings, you're kind of doomed for a river Styx kind of journey. What was the narcissistic thing, though, that you wanted to get to?
Well, so Anne basically hits him. She's like, she tells him, hey, how sad it's been for his kids, the other 4 kids this loser hasn't brought up, because she's been there to see their pain, not him.
Right.
And now he's got another kid in life, and she said, couldn't you have waited? And then this thoughtless, selfish piece of shit responds with the only way a selfish piece of shit can.
Yeah.
He says, and I quote, "He can't change the past. And what's he supposed to do? Wait another 5 years? How about no more fucking kids, you fucking loser?
Right.
I'm going to fight you, you piece of shit."
Yeah, watch your ass, Michael. So he speaks on a scheme to replace the money quickly and in an unshady way. And when the producer confronts him and says that's pretty shady, Michael, in a subtextual way, says, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you if you keep pressing me like that. Let's move on. Not a good guy. So we wrap things up with Chance and Taylor in Ellsbury, Missouri. They are heading home from the couples counselor, and Chance says, "So what, you're mad at me now?"
Hey, can I just say,
what an unreasonable bitch, huh?
I have to say about this scene, because we only get a little taste of it, we'll end the show. Oftentimes I can see where it's cooked. I couldn't tell if this was a real moment.
I don't think this was cooked. I think she was probably maybe a little hammed up for the cameras, but what she uncovers while Chance is having another consultation with a credit smart while he's in the shower.
Yeah, except her pussy's out.
Whoa. She's quite the PI. She uncovers a ruse, also known as a dumb ruse, from a distended lying serial offender, right? So it turns out that he's been flirting with a lover, also known as an online sex worker named Jess, who is likely a Serbian crocodile addict, 27, 28, who hacked a woman's nudes and has been paying, Chance has been paying for her off-market OnlyFans. Which is, alas, another money suck. When Taylor discovers this, she grabs his clothing.
She has her waiting to exhale moment.
Yeah. And she does.
Except she's not Angela Bassett.
Yeah. Well, she takes his pre-workout in his clothes, and that pre-workout is not working, by the way, and lights it all on fire. And I just wish she would do the same to him.
Can you imagine being their neighbors?
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. We got to move.
Yeah. Quite literally, like, we need to think about moving because next thing you know, a bullet flies through our daughter's room. You know, we just can't live here.
No.
And this is what these people do.
Yeah. And the only reason I thought it was cooked, I know we're in the show, is because if she's doing this in front of 3 sleeping children, all this chaos, then they both should die.
Well, might have to bleep that. But yeah, that's the that's the end of the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Go to microdose.com. Go to the iTunes ratings and reviews. Join us on YouTube. Join us on Patreon. We love you guys very much. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Pat, say goodbye.
Later,
Kaylin,
dudes.
say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
There's a lot of stuff on TV, but not all of it's good. In fact, a lot of it's bad TV.